What I'd like to talk to you today about is active shooters. There's an excellent video out there on YouTube that was paid for by Homeland Security that was developed by the city of Houston on active shooters, and I really suggest you watch it. If you go to my blog, The Philosophy of Security, I've got links to it. But I'm sure you can also Google it and find it. There's also another one that's out there that Homeland Security did on its own that is also quite good, and that's also on my blog, and that you may want to take a look at. But the key factors we're looking at here, and the reason this has become so important is because this is the fourth incident in less than a month and a half. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. I mean, I don't see it ever stopping. Even if they get rid of guns, the guy's going to attack with knives or bombs or whatever. But the key is how we can deal with it. How we can deal with the fact that it may happen around us. And there's not a lot that I can teach you as far as saying this is the profile of the guy, because most of the time there's nothing to profile for you. All you are is an innocent victim in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, that's the key though. One, if you look at the Houston video, which is like everything that's ever been done on active shooters, the key is to run. Get the heck out of Dodge. Don't be there. The other one is hide. All right, get something between you and the shooter. Stay quiet. Turn off the cell phone. Be as quiet as you can and try to hide. The last thing is, if he is pointing at you and you're going to shoot, he's going to shoot you, or he's shooting people in the room, you're going to have to attack him. Attack him the best way you possibly can. Right? Attack him with anything you possibly can. It's working great on planes. It worked great in a supermarket not too long ago when an active shooter started. 2 people just jumped in. Right? That's the key, is that the first thing you need to do is run. The second thing you need to do is, if you can't run, hide. And then the third thing is, you're going to have to fight. If you're going to die, then the key is you need to fight. Remember, with a weapon, as long as the barrel is not pointed at you, his chances of shooting you are not there. So if you attack him and you move in close, in many cases, if you can get the barrel pointed away from you, you can fight him, especially if somebody else will come in and join you. With that said, let me talk about what our first mindset is and how we can use what we learned in my previous videos in the way that the philosophy that I teach of security, and that is how to use our senses to get the first jump, the first reaction of something's happening, so that we can move, so that we can find that exit for us. One of the first things you got to do is you've got to be able to keep yourself aware. See what's going on out there. See, is this guy possibly going to be a danger? All right? If it is a danger, where would you go? Do a scenario as you sit down in that movie theater and figure out, all right, if the guy came in at that exit, or he came in through the same entrance I came in through, how would I get out of here? How would I get as far away from him as possible? It might even affect the way you sit in that movie theater. I know in restaurants, there's certain things I know about attacks at restaurants, that almost all of it happens near the front doors. So I know that if I sit back and near an exit, or sit back and have a kitchen that I can duck into, or if I've got a window that I can push a chair or a table through to get out of there, I know there are ways for me to get out of the situation. So if the guy comes in and somebody's noticed, I hear the first shots go off, I've got a plan that I can use to get the heck out of there. But part of that is just being aware. Just thinking about what's going on around you, how you would react to a situation. May never happen. Probably will never happen. Hopefully will never happen. But if it does happen, you've at least planned. You've got an idea where you can possibly go. And that's the key. Just thinking about what you're going to do if something did go down. You don't have to be fearful. I'd go to any movie theater out there right now. The fear shouldn't control you, but you should keep your mind open. Keep relaxed. See what's going on around you, and see what you would do, or feel and think about what you would do if something did have to happen. Visualize it. Visualize yourself getting up and running for that exit. When you do, then you're going to figure out that, oh, I can't jump those 3 seats, or maybe I'd be putting myself in the way of fire if the guy was standing over there. So visualize another way that you can do it. The visualization one helps. Visualization is just like reality. As long as you can do it and visualize how you're going to make that thing happen, then in reality, when it comes time, you can make that thing happen. The key is to visualize. The key is to come up with that plan. The other thing about an active shooter is we want to be as aware as possible when those first shots go off. And the thing that we remember with any active shooter, with any bombing device, like the hand grenade, if it ever comes into a room with you, is that things go in a straight direction. If you can see the muzzle of that gun, then there's a chance you can be hit by that bullet. So the thing you want to do is as you're running, you're also trying to figure out what you can do that'll put something between you and that possible device, something between you and that bomb, something between you and that bullet. Something between you and them as fast as you possibly can, and you're still moving to get out of there. Always moving to get out of the way. The faster you get out of the way, the better off you are. If it looks funny and you've bolted out of a movie theater because something will happen and you thought there was, then laugh at yourself, walk back in, sit down, and enjoy the movie. But the key is have the plan and be ready to act on it. Those senses that we've been working on in previous videos are going to be critical here. Those senses are what tell us that something has happened, it's time for us to get the heck out of Dodge. All right? Remember, if you nothing else, duck down low enough that you can see what's going on, get an idea what the ground rules are for what the attack is or the incident is, and then start heading for those exits as quickly as you possibly can. Continually moving, continually getting things going out the door that you possibly can. If you don't have a doorway, make one. All right? So many times I've seen people get trapped inside restaurants, get trapped inside office buildings when there were plenty of windows they could break out and push things through and escape through. There was plenty of drywalled walls that they could have broken through and gone out. Think outside the box of how you would escape the situation here and just have a plan. Think about it and how you would possibly think of doing this when you go into a situation. If you do that, then your chances of surviving an incident like this are pretty heavy. If you also take a look at my blog, you'll find that I have one on surviving drive-by shootings. The same principles apply there on a drive-by shooting. You'll also see there's one in there about surviving kidnapping and attacks like that. The same thing occurs. You want to get away from the situation as far away from the situation as you possibly can, even if it's only 15 feet. 15 feet can be the difference between death or life 90% of the time. 2.5 feet in many cases can be the difference between death or life. So you want to be able to start moving very quickly, in most cases away from the barrel of that gun or away from that device that's sitting on the ground that's a possible explosive device. Remembering always to get something between you and that device as quickly as possible. I hope this helps. Remember, on my blog, you'll see access to the video that City of Houston did, which is an excellent video on surviving an active shooter. There's also access to a DHS video, Department of Homeland Security video, that is also excellent material for surviving an active shooter. The key is, think about it. Once you see a couple of these videos, once you think about what I've said here, once you've read things I put in my blog, hopefully that's going to give you the plan that allows you to calm yourself down and say, I can survive this, and not worry about wherever you're going to go to dinner tonight or wherever you're going to go to a movie. That's what we're looking for, is to reduce the fear, get you calm, but still at the point where you can react and get the heck out of Dodge if something happens. On one of our future videos, we're going to talk about the sixth sense. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't believe in spirituality or sixth sense or anything else. Well, I suggest you read a lot into the scientific magazines, because what they do is they tell you more about how they feel the sixth sense is working, and I really can buy into a lot of that. And most of it is the sixth sense is nothing more than that subconscious that you have, that I talk about all the time, that subconscious taking in all those inputs around you and then figuring out the correlation between them to tell you, duck, or get the heck out of Dodge, or this is a bad situation, we need to leave. That's what the sixth sense in many cases is, and that's all you really need, is you got to get those senses so that we can understand all the correlation of all that stuff coming up. That little warning picks up, and then you take and move, take the action at that point. Hopefully this has been helpful. I hope to see you again.